envision myself as a grandma. I'm not a grandma yet. I probably won't do that until I'm 90 with my daughter's going. No rush though. I didn't want to be the type of grandma that was sitting on the couch or in a rocking chair talking about, ooh, that show do look fun, baby. I'd love to come out there with you, but the way my knees are set up.
Exactly.
So I wanted to be out there too in the yard and doing it because, you know what, believe it or not, I can still do cartwheels and all. I want to be able to do that when I have grandkids, right? And I have little great nieces and nephews running around and they like for me to slide up and down the stairs with them. Hey, Herbert, and I called you back, Herbert, but you didn't call me back, but I did return your call. I was actually doing something when you called me. So anyway, we'll get together and talk. But so that's why I went vegan, for health reasons. I did not want to be sick. I'll be 50 in a year, a little more a year from now. And I didn't want to be like the 50s that people used to be back in the day.
Well, the sad thing is, I'm looking at a lot of my buddies. I'm not saying I'm all that, but some of my buddies look like they're in their 60s and 70s. And these are the guys that really, in their younger years, really, burnt the candle at both ends. That's why you can't tell me nothing about drugs, because everybody that I knew that did them when they were younger, you look at them now where we're supposed to be, they look like they're old
zombies.
Yeah, men, teeth missing, and just, you know what I mean? They're just messed up. They're just messed up overall. I mean, it's just,
And yes, Russell, he said vitamin D is the most important one to maintain good health. Direct sunlight increases vitamin D.
You hear that, ladies?
Russell, you see how fair I am? Like, the minute some sun get popping out here, and then it gets the clouds again, But I try to get out in the sun as much as possible. I lie out on my balcony for a little bit, like half an hour or so, just to try to get some sun. But yeah, sunlight definitely. And I'm not in the sun a lot, but hopefully when the weather gets a little bit better, there'll be more sunlight. But yes, I'm waiting for my supply of vitamin D. But in the meantime...
Al, are you on the way?
Shut up! In the meantime, I'm going to get some mushrooms. I'm going to force myself to eat mushrooms because I know that'll make me feel better. So thank you for that.
There you go.
And Herbert says, you are still lovely. Oh, well, thank you.
Sure.
Yes, I did. I called you back. You called me Thursday, but I was in the middle of something, and then I called you back. You didn't answer, so I figured you were busy. So yes, I did. So anyway, I'm ready to switch over whenever you are.
We're good.
Okay. Are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
We're rolling, and you didn't tell me. So hello, podcast. Welcome back. I'm sorry for that. I missed the introduction. So anyway, we're going to talk about politics here. So as you guys know, in South Carolina, they had their primaries, I guess you could call it. Joe Biden whooped everybody.
We got to beat Trump.
Yes. Joe Biden won to the tune of 51% of the vote. Which was like an injection that a campaign needed because he was, struggling.
Well, the thing is,
kind of is, but
the thing is, that's all he's got is South Carolina.
South Carolina.
That's all he's got. He said, when I get to South Carolina,
what's in South Carolina?
Bunch of Negroes.
And we predominantly, that's where a large
population of
the black vote is in South Carolina, which is why a lot of politicians go there first.
Right, and notice 60% of the vote, and they did this statistically. They said 60% of the black vote. He won the black vote by 60% or something like that. Majority of the black kids, Generation X stuff, went to Bernie Sanders, and then the older generation fail. They went to
and they're also
Joe Biden.
saying because there's such a schism in the black community as far as voting.
Because now we're waiting. A lot of these people are waking up.
Nobody single-handedly has the black vote, which is and that's what I was alluding to earlier. That's a good thing.
Yes.
Because like Donovan said, we're all waking up. We're not all just like, okay.
Same thing, 60 years. Here's my vote. I'm walking out. I get nothing.
Hey, wait a minute. And so Joe Biden, he won South Carolina. Everybody's happy and stuff.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. More power to him. He won it overwhelmingly. Okay, you won one. Super Tuesday's coming up.
Sanders is gonna get California.
California and Texas.
Yes.
In the same day.
And so,
I mean, it's going to be a wipeout at this point now because now the primaries are now going to states that have a lot of Generation Xers and millennials.
And that's for a whole host of reasons. We'll get into that too. Mm-hmm. So I read an article where they're saying that Joe Biden should pick for his VP Kamala Harris. I can't stand him. Kamala Harris.
What?
And Stacey, what's her name?
Abrams?
Stacey Abrams.
The woman loser. The woman is a loser. Why would you put a loser on the ticket?
Stacey Abrams and Kamala Harris. That's who they're saying they should put on the ticket.
I mean, by that thinking, you might as well put Amy Klobuchar on the ticket. She's a bad prosecutor that locking people up and don't give a damn. Just make it a white ticket.
Right.
Since we're going to vote for you anyway.
And so the premise really, you guys,
my God.
and that's not me, because y'all know how I feel. The premise is vote blue no matter who. Now, I want to get on a little monologue here for just a second.
Just a second.
We keep saying vote blue no matter who. We don't care who it is. If it's a Cookie Monster, put his blue ass in the White House, right?
Right. It's a demon. Put it in the White House.
That's what we keep saying. Vote blue no matter who. We need to get rid of Trump. If we don't get rid of Trump, then, we're going to lose the Supreme Court. Black people.
We've already lost the Supreme Court.
Arrest this, that, blah, blah, blah. But
where were you guys at?
This is what I say. This is the big problem with black people, is that we are always reactive instead of proactive. Because if we was proactive, for one thing, someone like Trump probably would have, because it wasn't really up to us. But let's say this, if we were proactive, it wouldn't affect us as much. So we're scared that this fool might get another 4 years. Trump hasn't made black people's situation the way it is. It's not Trump's fault. And listen, I'm not trying to say that Trump is not a bad dude.
He's a douchebag.
Please don't mistake me when I say that.
And if you really think about it, I'm going to cut you off. If you really think about it, in the last 3.5 years, his focus has been on what? Brown people.
Right. But so my point is, we keep saying we need to get rid of Trump. That's what they tell black people.
We need to get rid of Trump.
We need to get rid of Trump. But for one thing, we didn't put Trump there. Trump is not our Frankenstein.
Right.
We did not create him. But if black people would stop being so reactive and start being proactive
and do your research,
none of that stuff would matter. Like, why are we always waiting to the 11th hour to where we are dead man walking on death row to try to do something?
And then we get mad when these guys come to... a good example in Houston. If you guys go to the Philip Scott show, he talked about this. I saw it late last night when he posted it. Mm-hmm. Congressman Al Green. He was the guy that came down there. He looks like
I know what you're talking about.
He's a tall guy, beard and everything like that. He represents a district in Houston. He was one of the guys that put up the articles of impeachment before the impeachment actually happened.
Sorry, I didn't see all those comments. Sorry.
Yeah, actually, before the impeachment happened. Now, Al Green does not go to his district. Only during election time.
Right, well, of course.
And then some of his donors say, well, we want Al Green in there because he does what we want him to do.
Right, of course.
Al Green does not fight for his constituents at all. And that's a lot of these politicians. And so with us waking people up now, they're kind of nervous. He needs to be primaried. All these people need to be primaried.
So that's the point that I'm making. So we want to make Trump the boogeyman, which he is, an orange one. He's an orange boogeyman. I'm not saying he's not. But now all of a sudden we've taken that, we as black people, not me, but black people, not you guys, but other black people have taken that on as a battle cry. We need to get rid of Trump. For what?
For what?
Trump did not put us in the position that we are in as black people.
12 years to 0.
So we keep saying, well, let's vote blue this time. Well, that's what they've been saying since the 60s. Let's vote blue. Let's vote blue. No, let's get something for our vote, and not voting at all for none of those people, any of those people who are not going to do anything for us is not a bad idea. Right. We're not getting anything anyway. Right. We are all, in essence, all we're going to be doing is helping everybody else get rid of Trump, because that's who everyone else really is being affected. Now, black people are affected by everybody.
Yes.
So the point that I'm making is not just Trump. Oh, we got to get rid of Trump. Oh, you're a horrible person if you don't. We got to
get rid of Maxine Waters. We got to get rid of Al Green. Right. We got to get rid of John Lewis.
Right. That's what I'm saying. To Donovan's point, why are we more mad at Trump than we are mad at
that should be fighting for us
than we are at the Al Greens, the Maxine Waters,
the John Lewises,
all those people who we continuously vote for. They want to see their ass to Washington and don't get us anything. We don't say a peep about them, but yeah, we want to get rid of Trump. I guarantee you, if we start holding the people locally and statewide more accountable, then everybody else is going to wake up. But Trump is just, as Andrew Yang said, Trump is a symptom. And we want to take it back to black people. Trump is a symptom of us just being complacent and wanting everybody else to save us when we need to save ourselves.
Right. The Democrats are running around talking about, we just passed in the House the anti-lynching bill.
All that is here, Negroes. That's a bone. And you know how long it took them to pass that? Over 200 years to pass an anti-lynching bill. God damn it,
Can I ask you a question?
Tax
cut faster than that.
A bill dog. Making it a crime to kill animals
faster.
Before they made the anti-lynching bill law.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes. I ain't got no money.
No. Why do we need an anti-lynching bill? Isn't that because a crime already?
Yeah, Capital One, murder is Capital One, which is already a federal crime to murder people. But if we add that little anti-lynching thing, make it a crime. I'm sorry that this might be going out a little bit because it's raining really bad. But if we make it we attach the it's like a hate crime type of thing to it. I mean,
you'll get more.
How Capital One is already punishable by death.
And somebody said that when you make it a hate crime thing, you'll get more charges. How many hate crimes have you seen the prosecutor, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, put against a white man when he does do a hate crime?
And they rarely want to do that when it comes to a hate crime. So that federal, listen, black people, okay? Listen, black people.
We're just sad.
Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. That anti-lynching law right around election season. And then you Negroes get mad. Oh, that was 4 Republicans who voted against it. Are you surprised?
Look at the states they represent.
Who cares if they are against the anti-lynching bill? It's already a crime to kill people.
Right now,
but it's a smoke screen.
Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna tell you this: if I was a congressman, I would have voted against it too, because we already got Capital One.
But you're more mad at those white dudes for doing what white dudes do than you are at the black people that you keep putting in office.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How are you more mad at them white dudes for being white dudes than you are at your Maxine Waters and all them other cats?
Exactly.
Your Sylvester Turners in Houston, who is on the Mike Bloomberg train.
Yeah, your Seal, what's his name? Bobby Seale.
Bobby Seale, who was a original Black Panther. Now he done
butter biscuit. Got him some butter biscuits.
The Kool-Aid. So y'all mad at 4 white dudes who was against there's been 200 years worth of white dudes who didn't want to pass the anti-lynching bill.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Now you're mad because these 4 white dudes in 2020 didn't want to do it. Come the F on already.
I mean, it's sad, ain't it?
It's sickening. But you want to run around talking about white people want this and white people now.
We got to get Trump because he's doing this.
What about black people? What about holding our own selves accountable?
Wait. I got to say this in the podcast. What's her name? Lee
I'm
of Houston.
To y'all comments.
The Lee in Houston. Sheila Lee Jackson. She ain't exempt either. She goes down there. She shows her face, but she doesn't do nothing for black people.
Sheila Jackson Lee is playing the game too. We're going to have a study. We're going to study reparations. You the blackest and the oldest thing up in Washington. You don't know about reparations. What do you need to study?
And once again, a person who came here who is not that it matters, but her people got here in the 60s, basically. She just got
here and got theirs.
Got here and got theirs.
I'm going to see what I can do about you Negroes. We don't study it, though.
Right.
And so, Jonelle, you say right down there, you can tell their bad habits and diets lead them to deterioration. You're only as good as your intake mentally and physically, your activities. Yeah, absolutely.
All them old dudes, man, they look terrible.
How are you both doing? We're doing
well. We're doing great.
And I'm glad you're doing well, too. And Al says, just saw the Buttigieg is dropping out of the race. That's what Tay said a while back. And Mark says, I honestly don't think Bernie Sanders would survive a 4-year presidency. The man is just too damn old, regardless to who we have to choose from.
But the thing is, though, we have to enact a change. And this is where I'm going to go back to Biden real quick. Biden has told you, I'm for the status quo.
Negro.
He's for the status quo. So if you're having a hard time getting a house or racism or whatever your problem is, he's like, okay, we're just going to keep everything the way it is and move on.
Right.
He's not for change.
Negroes. And Jamie says, they can't get the black vote so easily now with the old tricks involving churches doing the ladies dancing.
And giving the money.
And
giving the money and all that.
I just write the check.
Yes, cut the check.
Write the check. You know what I'm saying? Money talks. I listen.
And like I said, Andrew Yang, I'm arguing with a friend of mine right now. She's wondering why I won't vote. The reason why I'm not going to vote is nobody's promising me anything. It's a transaction.
That's what it's supposed to be.
So if you're not going to promise me nothing, why you need my vote?
Right. And Marcus says, is it possible for us to take a 4-year presidency and build a winning candidate for us? Can we put together a list of candidates to represent us and aggressively inform them of our needs? And I will vote that we might get something that can represent us the way we need. Yes, that's what we're supposed to be
we're supposed to do that.
We're supposed to be collectively as black people getting together and say, okay, I like Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. That's a good person. They got a black agenda. They know what they're talking about. They are willing to fight for us to get what we need. Let's everybody, you know what? It don't necessarily have to be nobody black. It just needs to be somebody
who's going to represent our needs.
Yes, like they do everybody else. And so that's actually what we're supposed to be doing.
And when they don't, you primary their asses.
That's right.
And you get them out of there.
Get them out of there. All the way
Simple
from the ground up.
Right.
And Russell says, voting didn't cause our problems, and voting can't solve our problems. If voting could solve black problems, we would be doing much better than we are. Absolutely. It's just something symbolic.
It's symbolic.
Go to the polls and vote, and then it will make a change. A change, like, well, next time somebody tells you guys, well, you know, go to the polls. If you don't vote, you're not going to change anything. Say specifically what is going to change for black people just by me going into the booth.
Right.
What? Ask them. And I guarantee you're going to see a deer caught in headlights like, well, I wasn't expecting you to answer me. To ask me that.
Well, ask yourself this right now. As we slid into South Carolina, all the major news networks kept talking about the black vote, the black vote, the black vote. That's how pivotal our vote is. Without it, the Democrats will never win the White House or hold the Congress. That's how pivotal our vote is.
Right.
So to say that, you know, our vote doesn't mean anything, it does, because if we hold it, maybe they will start doing our agenda.
What was that you were saying?
Yes. What was that? Yeah.
Right.
Well, how much money are we talking here?
Right.
You know, that's what I'm saying. We got to use it.
Yep. And James says, thank you for saying that, because people look at me sideways when I said I'm not voting. You know what? And double down. I'm not voting until I get and mine get what we need.
Right. And if
we want.
I mean, ask yourself about this. I don't know what community you're in, but look at the Asian community. Other than Andrew Yang.
Your sister.
Okay. Yeah. Other than the Asian community, or other than Andrew Yang, who recently came out to run presidency, are the Asians concerned about who's the president and who's representing
Asians
what?
are the wealthiest people in America, and they're least in population. I'm going to say that again.
Say that again.
Asians are the wealthiest in America and the least in population. So, of course, they ain't worried. They're concerned about politics to some degree.
They are 8% of the population.
But they ain't tripping like, oh, my God, we got to vote blue no matter who.
Go into, most states have a Koreatown, a Chinatown, whatever. You go in there, they have their own banks. They have their own businesses. They have their own Chamber of Commerce. I mean, you name it, they're a society.
They are a well-oiled machine.
And everything is in their native language.
Yep.
I've never seen a country English is universal, but you go to their country and everything is in the other language. Right. You're just like, what? Wait. I thought I was in America, you know? So
yeah. Al says, do y'all like Warren?
No.
I don't think a lot about. I'm familiar with a lot of the things that she wants to do, but I think Warren
just playing. She's playing the dozens, because when they asked her about reparations, she said, "What check?"
And then when she saw that black people was like, "Oh, word," then she started talking about, I'm down with reparations.
Yeah,
you know.
She was with Bernie on this, then she's not with him, and then we need progressive people in there, progressive Republicans, progressive Democrats. I don't care. The system is broken. We need to change it. Right. Simple as that.
And Jamie says, preach, D, preach. I'm trying. Hallelujah. Pass the bucket. And Russell says, white liberals have made black people believe that Trump is our problem. Trump is white liberals' problem. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Well, not ours. Liberals and Democrats are our enemies. Wake up.
Right. Well, I'm agree with you there, Russell.
I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
The millennials are awake. Half of Generation X, which is our generation, we're awake. The only people that they're fooling is Generation Fail, which is the baby boomers. They don't want change.
And I ain't calling the generation the baby boomers fail. That's him.
Right.
Send your hate
Generation
mail
Fail.
to him.
Generation Fail, straight out. Because they're the ones. How do you give your vote 60% of that vote of the generation failures to a man that authored the crime bill that destroyed your family.
I like him. He was with Obama. You know, they was so cool. You know, Joe Biden, he loved black people.
Right, but here's my question. Are there any consequences for destroying whole communities?
Well, yeah. Well, you shouldn't have been. This is like true stuff right here, you guys. It wouldn't be no crime bill if y'all wasn't committing crimes. I've seen and heard people say those things.
And you got to think about this. The crime bill, the way it was authored, also gave the impression to the law enforcement officials that we are now predatory criminals upon sight. So you've got people locked up that did absolutely nothing. And it's on their records. Falsely arrested.
Yep.
Stop and frisk.
Yep.
That's all comes from the crime bill.
Yep.
All of that.
All of it. And Charlie, what's happening says, get rid of Senator Jim Clybourne from South Carolina.
Congressman. He's a congressman.
He was paid $50,000 alone with other blacks to make blacks in South Carolina vote for Biden. See, that's what I'm saying, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, brother.
We mad at 4 senators for not voting for the lynching bill, anti-lynching bill, but you ain't mad with Jim Clybourne ass for selling black people up the river in South Carolina for some chicken wings.
Right, no, fish fry. He has his annual fish fry.
You ain't mad at him, no, but you mad at the 2 dudes who you already know how they feel.
Right.
But you want to get on your, get in your feelings about who cares? Like, you take your ass to the polls every 2 to 4 years and vote for the senators and the Congress people to let them get in. He got $50,000, but what did the people get for voting for Joe Biden get?
Right. Now, if we could look up Joe Biden's record and what the crime bill is, why don't you think Clybourne has access to that too?
Right.
But yet he's going to support a man that helped destroy the black community in itself, taking fathers and mothers out of the home, the crack epidemic, all that stuff.
Though. They're getting theirs.
Come on.
$54,000 in his coffer.
We got one. She's getting out next year.
Oh, Corrine Brown?
Yeah, Corrine Brown. We got one of them. Mass corruption.
Corrine Brown.
Yeah, it's just sad. Yeah. Mass corruption of people that are supposed to do things. Now, don't be wrong. I used to be in Jacksonville. Corrine Brown did a few good things.
Yeah.
But all everybody's going to remember is, what is she in there for? Corruption.
Beyonce tickets.
Yeah.
I wrote Beyonce tickets.
Corruption.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
And everybody needs to be primaried.
Englishman, what's happening? It says, real black man is here now. Said, what's going on in here? Well, you're one of many real black men in here, but how you doing and welcome. And Russell says, Maxine Waters, the Democratic Black Caucus. Oh, don't get Jonathan started. Please don't get him started.
Black
on the Black Caucus. And the black Democrat politicians are the ones we need to be worried about, not Trump. I'm with you.
Thank you.
Because those are the ones who get up on national TV. Oh, Trump's got to go. Oh, we got to get rid of Trump.
Yep.
But then we got people like Joe Biden and Mike Bloomberg walk up into the church. Then they go, well, he's all right. People make mistakes now. There ain't no such thing as a perfect candidate. He's trying to help the people.
Did you see Biden's acceptance speech or when he won? He started preaching.
South Carolina.
Yeah. Look. He started preaching, and then you can hear in the background the bootlegs. Yeah, right on. It sounds like like he's in the church.
So winning.
Yeah. Miss Apollo up there dancing. I was just like, oh my goodness. Yeah. It was embarrassing. It was so embarrassing.
And Russell, he says, I'm voting for President Trump. He is the only one who has earned the black vote.
That's one way to look at it. I
mean, listen,
he's done a few things for black folks. He has,
but he's done a few things to black people
right.
too.
That's very true.
But
however, like I said, we try to be fair and balanced here.
Right. Well, yeah, you said we have to be engaged. So what do you suggest? And Huey, what's happening? You said black folks are supposed to know what politics are supposed to produce.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't.
It's not supposed to, just to your point, be symbolism. What? Here's my sticker. I vote.
Right.
I voted because I could complain. And that's all you're going to do is complain. You don't have the right to complain if you don't vote.
Right. Huey, and I say on my show, we are 12 years from zero, and I keep talking about that. I mean, when I bring it up to people, they're not even aware. But they're in the club over here. I got a friend that went to the club. No concern. 12 years goes by like that.
And you guys, it's tax season. A lot of people are getting income tax returns. You know, maybe not as much as you was a couple years ago because of the
the deductions have been reduced and stuff.
I mean, we can make a big difference. Nah, I can't. You can include me in that because I got to pay. Okay, but
yeah, I have.
You know. But those are getting some money back. Start some businesses. You know, something small. Like, what do we need in the community that we don't have now? Let's start a fruit stand because we know that a lot of neighborhoods, our neighborhoods, have food deserts. Start a fruit stand. Right. You know, something to start doing something other than giving that money back to the other folks.
Right. Let me make a quick announcement, too.
Sure.
65 is the mandatory age pilots have to leave the airline business. Now, we know airline business is very lucrative. Mm-hmm. Not only are the pilots leaving, guess who else is leaving? The mechanics.
Oh.
So if you have a son out there that is not sure, you know, because not everybody's going to go to college. I'm in this class right now, just a refresher, whatever I'm doing. There's only one black kid in the class. Nothing but Hispanics and white boys. Working for the airlines, you could make $35 walking in because it's unionized.
Right.
And you're always going to need mechanics. Pilots are going to be on the way out.
So trade school.
Go to trade school. But the thing is, we're not going into aviation. We're not even going into auto mechanics. I was at RCC the other day. I didn't see any black people in the auto shops whatsoever.
Right.
But you got these 6'3", 270-pound dudes running around with braids in their hair talking about, I'm going to get a psychology degree sitting on the quad. Well, we used to do that too, but we had a little more direction. But anyway.
I just envisioned Suge Knight or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's what I'm saying. And it's like, well, there could be money being made over here. If you want to make some money, this is where you need to go, vocational-wise.
Got it.
So.
And it says, before that might have been the strategy. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then Charlie, it says, no more Biden. He put up a link. It says, Biden racial offense in which he seemed to suggest that black people lack the natural capacity to be good parents. Yes, I saw that. To be good parents, it was in the way he described then candidate Barack Obama in 2007 as an African American who was articulate and bright and clean.
Yes.
Clean, as opposed to what? Wake up, South Carolina. Yeah. I feel the same way when I would have people say, "Oh, you're very articulate," and I'm like, "You opposed to what?"
Mm-hmm. Right.
What was you thinking about me? Mm-hmm. You know. And then Pamela, you say, I am voting for President Trump because I think he will be in for 4 more years again. Well, you know, he very well may be, you know.
Well, let me ask you this, Pamela. I mean, it's, you know, I can't tell you who to vote for and how to vote, but why vote just because it's the winning team? See, in America, we got to get out of that mentality of, it's like the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Everybody was a Chicago Bulls
bandwagon.
fan. And then
bandwagon
then
voters.
It's somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm just trying to tell you is, well, you know, if that ain't your cup of tea, don't vote for him just because everybody else is.
Right.
You might as well just withhold your vote and, you know, and see what happens.
But, you know, and vote more on the local and state level.
Yes,
like
that's
Donovan
what matters.
said, we got a lot of these people who are, you know, they are in front of the camera, they against Trump, but behind the camera, they doing things that are conducive to Trump doing the things that he's doing, whatever that may be.
Yeah, I mean, if this guy is such a national threat, why are they passing his bills?
Right.
You know, and then, you know, like what we have here, we have a representative here that allowed an airplane to land in a populated area that had the coronavirus on it. He authorized, and then he tried to deny it.
Right.
Oh, no, they didn't inform me. They did.
Right. And then Marcus said, the madness in our so-called right to vote and black people demanding for the other black people to vote is that the people we are voting for are not even protecting our right to vote. Exactly. Yep. Every election, our votes, I think, are the ones that disappear, and it becomes harder and harder to find a location even to cast a vote. Absolutely. Yeah. But again, I mean, I think we really need to start turning and taking the task the people more on the local level.
Right. Exactly. They can't do that unless the local people allow it.
Yep.
You gotta,
they just talk a good game, but as long as they getting their palms greased with $50,000 when the local politician or the one that's running in for office federally is coming in, then I mean they're never gonna do for the will of the people.
Right. And then let me ask you this: going back to Stacey Abrams, what has this woman accomplished that you're gonna put her on the ticket?
Obama 3.0 because Kamala was Obama 2.0.
Right, but she hasn't won anything. She hasn't passed any legislation.
She has the Fair Fight initiative that's supposed to help people be able to vote without being
but she did that after she lost.
Without being cheated.
Right, but she did that after she lost. Why would you put a loser on the ticket?
You asking me like I'm gonna vote for the lady.
And then to put and then to put Kamala Harris, even to consider Kamala Harris after the black
ran out of town.
Yeah, when the black news media exposed her and her record, why would you do that? These guys must really want to lose to Trump.
Well, I think that's whoever they are. I think that's their way of saying, well, we get somebody black in there.
We'll get the black vote. They have to vote for.
We'll get the black vote. Because, especially if we have a black woman, because they'll just get I ain't going to say it. Mm-hmm. If we have a first black female vice president. Ooh.
Let me tell you what's going to happen when that happens. The white women will vote overwhelmingly again for Trump.
Come on, ladies.
Yes, and I get tired of this from you women and you feminists out there. Talk about, America's, and Kamala Harris said this when she dropped out. They're not ready for a woman president, right? And she said black woman, whatever.
As she draped her Chanel bag over her shoulders and left.
Hillary was on the ticket. She got beat. So don't sit there and tell me America's not ready for a woman president.
We just wasn't ready for another politician to get in the office and stick it to black people.
Exactly. Right. Come on.
And here you say facts, we have to watch these politicians' actions. F what they say, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And Marcus says we need to do what we need to do is have an internal campaign to focus on what we need to vote for whoever. Then you will see who is really willing to work for us and with us. Absolutely. You know what's going to happen though, Marcus? You don't get your Al Sharptons and all these other people. Well, and they're going to call us bots.
And there's always going to be a Judas in the group.
The new black media. Those people, they're going against the status quo. Right. They're just trying to cause problems. Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is that we are no longer going along with the status quo.
With the get along. We're not doing that.
Right.
But Marcus, what you're saying, though, they actually already do that. It's called the Democratic Party and the local party bosses. And that's where the corruption starts. Because then you have candidates that want to come and make a difference. Oh, no, we're already backing so-and-so. Right. That's where all the money's going. Right. And that's part of the problem. Because you can't get support because you're not towing the line because I have a contract with Jimmy Joe over here.
Right, exactly.
And that's the problem. It's when
and you hear somebody, and I'll get to your comment in a minute, a second, y'all. But you hear somebody like Stacey Abrams says, "Well, I haven't endorsed anybody yet." Bullshit.
Oh, bullshit!
You took $5 million for your initiative, and then $500,000 for your campaign for Mike Bloomberg, both of them. Mike Bloomberg in 2018. So you're lying.
Wait a minute! No. That's not going to influence my decision on what. Listen, that's what these politicians say.
If I give you $5.5 million,
exactly,
you're going to do what I say.
Why do you think these governments are going to Trump properties and dropping money? The Saudi government went to the Trump Tower in New York and bought out like 6 floors.
Right.
And there was nobody occupying the.
We just did it because it was the nearest thing empty.
Come on, this is politics. This is the real deal.
And y'all say we need to get rid of all of them. Right now, we are in danger of having our voting rights removed altogether. Well, I mean, let me ask you this, y'all. Mm-hmm. Would you concede the point that maybe we're already there already?
They've already taken it.
Voting to go get nothing is the same as thing. Voting. And having our rights removed, isn't it all the same?
Same thing.
If you ask me, voting to get nothing is worse because one, I'm wasting gas money and time. Why to send my ass to the booth just to say I did it, or I tried to get rid of Trump, or my ancestors died.
Yes.
And again, Dr. Claude Anderson says no ancestor gave up their life; it was taken from them. They were murdered. So, and they didn't just die. So you can go in the booth and say, well, I made it. Ancestors, I made it in the booth. Good, look at me now. Take your selfie. They went in there so we can actually move the ball and get stuff. Let's get further than they did. That's why they died.
And here's another thing that I say about Generation Fail. If you listen to my show, I said it last week. And even Phil said it. I was shocked. Phil Scott said it. He said, we're in the situation that we are now, 12 years to zero. And I'm paraphrasing. But basically, this is what I said. 12 years to zero is because Generation Fail, when they got their opportunities and stuff going, they didn't set anything up for us to take the ball and move it forward.
Right.
So now we're in a situation that is almost unattainable because 12 years, I'm going to be okay. Dee's going to be okay. Some of you guys out there are going to be okay. But as a whole, when you have zero wealth, you are back to condition of slavery.
Yeah. 12. Instead of 12 years a slave, 12 years to be a slave.
Right? Okay? That's the movie. That's the movie. Harvey, you listening? I'll vote for you to get out of jail.
It's going to be like Benjamin Button's, the Black Slaves movie. Benjamin Button's 12 years to being a slave.
To being a slave.
Right. And then Russell says, Asians vote less than any other group, but they are doing better financially. Voting is not going to solve our problem. Start giving your money to people who hate you. Develop black businesses and patronize black businesses. Yep. That's how the Asians became wealthy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're just going along, happily going along and doing their thing.
But think about it. Where did they get that from?
He said, hell no, Cindy, I'm not voting for Trump.
Yeah, but where did the Asians get that from? And all these other groups get that from? Us here in America. Because when they didn't give us our 40 acres and a mule, we had our own communities. We started that.
Right.
What happened?
Right. And y'all, you say we're being erased. They don't have to care about us. Well,
exactly.
I mean, but we're a part. See, we're not totally absolved of being responsible for us.
Yes, our actions.
A lot of that has to do with us. As Russell just said, hell, I mean, we need to start building and shopping, and we need to practice group economics, recycling our dollars. But we don't do that. We make excuses. We want Democrats to infuse all of these things, give us all of these things, but do you guys realize the stuff that they have been giving us, if you want to call it that, has not helped us. It's a sedative. It's to keep us sedated. Right. I give them some food stamps. I'm not saying it's just us some food stamps, but disproportionately we are. Give them some food stamps. Give them some housing. Give them some little bit of money and they comfortable.
Yeah. I have friends that will not work a certain job, even if the job offers them more money, because it'll affect their voucher or something.
Yeah, their socialism. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're already being erased.
Yeah.
And we got a large part to play in our erasure, if you will, if that's even how you apply the term. Let's see. And Huey says he has done some good for blacks. Trump, you have to be politically mature to understand. Now, listen, I'm with you. Mm-hmm. I'm with you because let's take something like the wall, for example. Now, in its inception, yes, it is very racist. I'll go ahead and concede that point. The wall is racist, but at the end of the day, the wall helps black people because Hispanics that are coming over here, and it's predominantly Hispanics, let's just keep it real. Because the people say, well, there's other people from other countries. They ain't letting them come over here, okay?
Right.
But when they're coming over here, they're not coming over here to join us in fighting. They're coming over here to
make money and send it back to.
Yeah, but they're coming over to replace us. Mm-hmm. So
that's why the Democratic Party caters to them.
So the wall is actually going to help black people because when they come get those jobs, what jobs they come to get? They coming to get the jobs we do because we too goddamn lazy to start our own businesses, and so we need to be dependent upon the man or everybody else to give us a job.
Right. Let me ask you guys this. They've got Amazon fulfillment centers everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
Now, if you know anything about the basics of logistics always goes where there's a high Hispanic black population.
And why is that?
Because the opportunities for those people to work is very limited.
But no, it's more to it than that. And you know the answer. Why is it that they put the warehouses in certain neighborhoods and the admin buildings in other neighborhoods?
Oh, because of the education level.
Because of the education level.
Yeah.
Because the education level is pretty low and
right. I mean, you want a job. You just
right, and they're not gonna put no warehouses in Beverly Hills and
exactly Orange County, right?
Yeah, they're gonna put the admin offices over there so they can pay those people the $80,000, the $100,000
keep their streets pristine.
Exactly, and they're gonna give the Mexicans and the Negroes the $12, $15 an hour jobs.
Right, and if you're interested, look up the history of Stockton, California.
Oh, yeah.
That place looks like bombed out Lebanon, but in the 70s and 80s, that was a big logistics hub. But look what happened.
Oh, the first city to go bankrupt?
Yes, they were one of the first major cities.
Yeah, major city in California to go bankrupt a few years back. And Jonah says, they're all trash and will continue to take this nation to the depths of the dumpsters. We are clearly moving towards a true revolution on every level. Imagine and what will be no longer reality we must face. Yeah, but what are we gonna how long is it gonna take before we say, okay, the water's really getting hot now. Maybe I should jump my black ass out and do something.
Right.
When is that gonna be? And y'all says y'all aren't reading all of my comments. And y'all, in all fairness, I will say, from what I understand, people are saying that a lot of comments, we're not seeing them on this end. So it's not that we're not reading them. It's just that for whatever reason, we're not seeing all of your comments because I'm reading this one.
Yeah. Yeah. You must have said something that was really deep.
I read that one. Yeah.
We read that one.
Yeah, I read that one too. So I don't know. I apologize for that.
Yeah, it's an algorithm that Facebook is doing because they don't want us to communicate between each other. So certain words that you're saying triggers the algorithm to delete your comment.
Yeah, I apologize for that. And Jonah
that's
says
a real thing.
Didn't get impeached, which shows Trump has the real nomination of those who pays to all his sides. Trump 2020 is good for this nation. Clearly, yes. So he was impeached, but he wasn't removed.
Right, he wasn't removed.
Impeached in the House. Yeah. But the Senate.
Impeached, by the way, is a political term for indicted. That's all it is.
He's got a stain on his record, but it's to go along with all the other stuff.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when you're falsely arrested,
right?
And then the charges are dropped. But guess what? You're still arrested.
Answer to it,
no, you're still arrested.
But I'm saying, you always have to. Well, what is this on your record? Yeah. And here he says, local self-government is the way. That's how we can really make a political statement. I 100% agree with you. Me and Dee talked about this last week. Why don't we just leave? Right. I got one bag packed already. Why don't we just leave? And hey, Adri, I hope I said that right. You said Adriel. Adriel. Okay. And then I saw that you put up a link. I can't see it right now, but you say it's not affecting us. Okay. Probably the coronavirus. So probably the coronavirus. No, not physically, but we're talking about financially. We are going to get the fallout. We are just going to get the fallout. Because we get the fallout of everything. The real estate market. Well, who got the fallout? And who also got the blame? Right. And we're still suffering to this very day. Yeah, I mean... We're going to get the fallout financially of that, for sure. But real quick, for those, before we go off, I know we're kind of turning it a little bit. What happened to your boy Deontay Wilder? What do you mean? I mean, he says that the costume for Black History Month was what weighed him down. I mean, it looked pretty heavy. I mean, I don't know what But he trains with a 45-pound pack on his chest. Listen, I'm going to say this. So I'm going to say this. No. I'm for him. Listen, I just know you love him. Me what happened. Yes, I just know you love him. I'm just his saying blackness. You can't He's awesome. Win them all, but as I said, he wanted my eyes because he loves black people and he loves his black self. Absolutely. He got him a black woman and he is all 8 children. I mean. Why do we do that to each other? Not you. Yeah. But why do we do that to each other? Why do we turn on each other? Kikiing and ha-ha. That man is, uplifting black people and we just can't wait to sock him in the nuts. Right. Because he lost and, man. No, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody's talking about it and I know you love him. And like I said, I was going for him too. I don't like the excuse he made at the end, but that's okay. But what I'm saying is, though... And from what I understand... He was generous enough because the guy that he fought, I guess, was going through depression and stuff, talking about killing himself. Yeah. He says, I'm not going to fight unless he gets what I got. Right. So he did him a favor. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so, I mean... But see, now all these white people are like, yeah, we're back in the championship, whatever. But anyway, go ahead. But all I'm saying is, regardless of whatever he has to say, the brother was... I mean, did you see the walkout when he came out? I did. He had the pictures of the black, that's what I'm saying. Black history and all that other stuff. We laughing and making jokes. And Tay says, did you see where the black people turned their backs on Bloomberg when he was speaking? No, I haven't seen that yet. Yeah, you guys know I don't have TV, so I hear about a lot of stuff from you guys, or I have to Al keeps throwing a short leash. See, he don't want to have any knowledge. Good job, Al. You've been watching What's the Love Got to Do with it. And then y'all say, no, it's not. And I don't know what that was referring to, but again, I'm not seeing a lot of comments on my end. Right. Not that I'm ignoring them, because I'm not. I would never do that. And Russell, you say... Stacey Abrams lost because she addressed the needs of illegal aliens. And the gays. She's big time on that. She's an all lives matter candidate. Yeah. That's how I see her. But she had nothing addressing the needs of black voters in her platform. She's not very smart. How can you have people who can't vote in your platform and ignore black voters? Stupid. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. We got to get him on the show. I've always seen her as that black lives, all lives matter. Candidate. And for you guys on the podcast, if we go out of here, we will hear from you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Like and share. Appreciate it, please. And Yaya says, because we weren't paying attention as we should have, now that we are, we can at least attempt to vote for what we want. Yes, exactly. But we on the local level. But but we all need to do it. Yeah. We all need to be on the same page. We can't be, have these schisms going everywhere. We all have to do it. And you also say if we can't vote legally, game over. Well, absolutely. But even if now that we are voting legally, what have we gotten? What have we gotten since they posted the Voting Rights Act? What have we gotten since then? Name me one thing black people have gotten since the Voters' Rights Act. Or was
we
it
can't even get
1965? Was it?
Yeah, 65 and 68 was the official.
Well, what have we gotten since then?
I mean, 12 years to zero.
Right.
12 years to zero. Somebody should be panicking right now.
Right.
None of the politicians are talking about that.
Because they're getting all this skrilla.
You know, I did hear somebody say it's 56 years from now. But see, when they say that, they want to so that you don't panic.
Exactly. Well, we know we know what we said, but what we meant was
right.
And so, Jonelle, he said, "Come on, electoral college. They're about to roll another Trump 2020. This election is drum roll, please." It's Trump 2020. And to your other point, I meant to address, Trump actually is, I believe,